Then the time being 6 o'clock, I'm going to call the Board of Health meeting to order. All members are present. Everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, the first item on our agenda are public announcements, specifically announcements from the Health Department. I will turn things over to Chris Schultz to provide those announcements.
Just a few. First of all, I would like to remind all of our food establishments, body art establishments, tanning establishments, and septic haulers and trash haulers that renewal applications for your 2024 permits are due by December 1st. Town bylaws are that you will be charged double the fee if they're not in by December 1st, so please get them in. Vaccinations, we do have COVID boosters in now, so you can schedule both flu and COVID vaccinations through our department, either online through Color, or you can give us a call at the office. Those are by appointment. Compost site. So I just want to take a moment to publicly thank Glenn LaPointe today, who went up this morning and pushed the compost pile back significantly to make room for us for our last 2 Saturdays and next week's curbside collection, which will be occurring on your regular trash day. Leaves and grass clippings can go out in either trash barrels or paper bags. We are asking people no limbs, no brush, and no rocks. Anything over 50 pounds will not be picked up because the trash haulers just can't, the machines can't handle it. So please keep that in mind.
So next Thursday, is that the curbside collection?
If that's your trash day. The week of the 27th, whatever your regular trash day is.
Week of the 27th.
And just to save us some calls from the office, in the past, there was a separate truck. It's going to be our regular drivers that are collecting the leaves, so they will do the regular routes and then come back to Abington to pick up the yard waste. So it'll be later in the evening. That's all I have for announcements.
And just to be specifically clear, December 1st is the day that those applications are due, even though they expire on 12/31.
Correct.
So they need to be on the 1st, and then every day after that day is double, not 12/31, it's 12/1.
Yeah, and that's a state mandate that applications be in 30 days prior to expiration.
Perfect. And we've had questions about that in the past. So, all right, any questions? No. All right then. Moving on to our first and really only discussion item this evening. Just continued from our previous meeting. That's discussion and possible vote to strike sections from the draft regulations restricting the sale of tobacco and vape products and the draft regulation prohibiting smoking in workplaces and public places. I know this was continued because we wanted to make sure we had everybody here to make sure we would strike the correct parts. Looking at the minutes, and I apologize, I haven't had a chance to watch the video here and tell me if I'm wrong. There were 2 specific sections I know that we needed to discuss striking because we already have done those things, or they're already permitted in town, meaning that like adult-only retail shops are. We have 4 of them. We didn't strike that as part of this regulation. We need to strike that out of there. Were those things brought up last time? No,
most of it was about the idea of, we had quite a bit of discussion on, there was confusion on if I have a flavored or something that can't be sold in Massachusetts on me or using it for personal. And we were like, 1, no one's going to get searched for that. But 2, it also says you can't have loose cigarettes, but plenty of people have loose packs in their pockets because they're smoking off. So like, it's basically the same concept of you can have those things that are purchased elsewhere. They just can't be sold and in the establishment.
Right, and that was part of the letter that we had received.
Yep, yeah, and we were just kind of explaining it. We kind of just went through a little bit further to be like, how could that have been construed? And then looking at some other stuff, it's like there is confusion there, and it was more clear once we talked through it. And then once we realized we needed a larger quorum, we decided to hold off. But I think we were all kind of in agreement on that.
Okay, because specifically, what that was on the agenda for is there are 2 sections in here.
F and H.
F and H. Thank you. I was trying to find them. F, which is training for store personnel, which we included in here. That the Board of Health would go through and pretty much approve a training option, which there is, but it doesn't issue a certificate, which I think from the was it local, was it Health Officers Association offers it?
Yes.
But there doesn't issue a certificate through that course. So basically, we would have to go through and figure out what course would need to be approved for that, which we have not done. So we got questions about it. And the Section H, which is the prohibition of adult-only retail tobacco stores, which we currently have 4 in town. So why would we walk backwards and do that? This was not in the draft, and I will say this as strongly as I can. This was not in the draft that this board sent to town council. And the one that was returned included specifically these 2 sections. So the correct thing to do, in my mind, and in the board I would like to have a discussion on, is to strike those 2 so that we can at least start on the same footing we did when we sent the draft to town council.
Yeah, I'd like to see a
Yeah.
motion for that.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All right, so I'll consider that a motion then. So,
Right.
wow.
Yeah, sorry. So
Yeah, that's
motion,
fine.
motion to remove the sections regarding required training and adult-only establishments for tobacco.
All right, and then Kevin, second.
Yeah.
Second motion.
Sorry, I meant if,
no,
I
that's-
would, if someone else
that's
wanted
fine.
to do it, I didn't mean it was supposed to be
No, that's
me
fine.
endorsing
I was just
myself.
gonna- I figured
good.
that's
Yeah.
that's fine. All right, so motion and a second to remove sections F and H. I won't read them
Thank
at this
you.
time. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay. All right, so with those, we'll have to redo the document a little bit. So that was really the only reason this was on here in the first place, was so that we can kind of get back to those things. Chris, am I missing anything that I know needed to be addressed?
No, I think everything else was the same as either the same as what you submitted or had been redlined in the draft that you got back.
Is there anything else in this that would we have to hold a public meeting now that we remove those sections? Or is this something that we can move forward and approve this to get this off the table and move forward? Just asking.
Yeah, we don't have to have a public hearing, period. We're doing it mainly if we do it, it's just because we want to
Yeah.
inform the community. So that's kind of up to us. Honestly, I want to have a conversation, I think, with the town manager and town council to figure out what the heck happened as maybe an after action. Just throwing it out there doesn't mean that's going to stop this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, this
Yeah.
has been 4 or 5 meetings worth, so I'm just trying to, if that was our only concern with it and we've talked about it, could we move forward and approve this so that we could then move on to the next
If the
option?
rest of the boards go with it, I am too. So yeah, sure. If
Okay.
that's something we want to do. The only thing though, did we put on the agenda that we were going to approve this today?
Discussion and possible, vote to strike
'Cause
from
that'd
the
be the only thing
draft
that's-
and the draft.
Possible to strike.
All right, so maybe then we can just roll into the next meeting. We'll just have the vote to approve to be on there.
Okay.
And then we'll just do that.
That's what I was,
If that's what we want to do, that can move things right along.
When you we'll just add that if you're going to have a vote on approving it, you need to decide on an effective date because that's blank.
Yeah.
That's not draft. So.
okay.
All right, so then maybe we'll roll with that. We'll just at the next meeting we'll have a vote.
Perfect.
Effective date in mind. Maybe actually this might be a good time to bring this up, so we can kind of just roll with it next meeting. Is there an amount of time, Chris, that you want to have to kind of let people know things isn't going into effect? Do you want 30 days, 60 days, sort of thing?
I mean, all the tobacco retailers were notified and sent a copy of the draft that included the items that you struck. So I think 30 days in my mind
Okay.
is sufficient.
All right, so maybe that's what we do when we get to the next meeting. We can talk about a month from
I'm
that.
gonna say
that
January
day.
1st.
Yeah.
We could do January 1st.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
shy of 30 days, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I guess my only other question too is regarding the flavored blunts and things. Did we ever get a response from Health
Mr. Brennan.
Board?
OHP?
Yeah, about what their rationale was on that.
No. Just literally what's in the definition, but I didn't hear anything back from.
All right, that's fine.
I can paraphrase Cheryl from trainings I've been at, but it's the same as what's in the
All right,
definition.
and I'm assuming that's the same response.
And that's because, I mean, that's been already on the books for several years at this point.
Right, and I am a little sympathetic to the argument that just because it's been on the books doesn't mean that it should be. But it sounds like we've talked through it enough that I think we're kind of the same footing with that. So, okay. Any other questions on any of these things? Either document?
No.
I didn't think there was anything that showed up out of the blue on the second document prohibiting smoking in workplaces and public places.
No, well reasonable.
There were actually the only thing I meant to throw in. So it does say on page 4 here that, oh, sorry, this is all out of order. Smoking is prohibited in smoking bars. Well, we don't have smoking bars in the first place, so do we need to put that it's also prohibited twice? I think that was actually redlined on his document.
I
which is why I'm
want to say
asking.
it was too.
So I don't know that we need to vote to strike that. It's a bulleted list, but I think we just reconcile it on the back end, but I just want to bring that up as well. I think everything else is fine. Oh yeah, it says it twice. It says they're prohibited in smoking bars and that smoking bars are prohibited in Abington. In the same list. So we will,
Good. Eliminate that one.
we'll just eliminate the first one there. That's fine. Okay. Perfect. All right then. Nothing else? No? Okay. With that, we can move forward to our next item, which is vote to approve the minutes of November 6th, 2023. Any discussion or motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 6th, 23.
I'll second.
Motion approved in second. Clay and I weren't here, so we'll hold off from that. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 302. All right, and lastly, correspondence. I know the health department has some shares. I'll turn that back over to Chris.
We received a couple of correspondences in the past week. One I didn't provide a copy for it. I'll just mention somebody apparently went to Wendy's and ordered a plain hamburger and identified that they had food allergies. They were given a burger with everything on it, and when they returned it, the manager just kind of laughed it off and said it was no big deal. So just a reminder to all our food handling people out there that it absolutely is a big deal. Not necessarily something enforceable by the health department, but we need to take food allergies seriously, and that is supposed to be part of their training as a food handling employee. The other correspondence we received was directed at the Board of Health, so I thought I would share that with you tonight. And this was sent in through the website from a Thomas Winnant, and this is addressing the ban of menthol cigarettes and Newport non-menthol ban. There's some strong language in here. I'm just going to substitute some of the expletives with my own so that we can keep this PG. It is beyond obvious that you guys are not only idiots, but uneducated idiots. The ban, B-A-N-D, on the Newport non-menthol green pack cigarettes shows the level of stupidity you people exhibit. Those cigarettes were just as awful as the regular non-menthol red Newport cigarettes. They are not flavored. You're a frackin' moron for even thinking so, cause I bought a pack to try it out. They are horrible. The fact that the state even banned menthol cigarettes exhibits how stupid, ignorant, and uneducated all of you are, because no child or person starts smoking because of cigarette is flavored. They start because they think it's cool. No cigarette tastes good. When a kid starts smoking, so you fracking morons should stay out of adults' lives that have a choice to smoke or not smoke and stop pretending you're fracking God because you're fracking stupid. For your consideration.
Love the enthusiasm.
And just to clarify, we have not banned those cigarettes, the non-menthols, correct?
So, in effect, yes, the board has banned them.
Non-menthols?
Specifically the green. They're called non-menthol cigarettes.
That's the whole thing that's being.
Yeah, but I thought we put a hold on that.
So the ban is in place. It is not being enforced.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the line I was looking for.
It's non-menthol
Yeah.
menthol. It's non-menthol with menthol flavor.
Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of what we're talking about. I'm just making sure that
Yeah.
we are not actively enforcing that ban. So
No, we are.
this
We are
seems seems a little out of the
Most of our tobacco retailers are in compliance and understand that we're not enforcing it, but have chose to not carry it.
Oh, good for them.
anyhow. And because I know that despite the opinion of this gentleman, our board is fairly well educated, I did not bring the science to back up that yes, tobacco companies have been marketing to children that flavored cigarette and tobacco products are a gateway to smoking. That's all well established fact.
And I believe it's actually on one of the first pages of the regulations that we are about to pass that mention that, because we incorporated it into the regulation creation a few months ago. So, just saying. Anyways, any further correspondence to share? Seeing none,
No.
that is the end of our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would just like if I could say a few words. This morning, John Walsh, who was a former selectman and
Yes.
Abington Finance Committee chairman, who served the town for several years, passed away. John was a good friend of mine and obviously was a great public servant and really a mentor to so many different people that are in government today. And just wanted to pass along, my condolences to the family and make Abington, the folks of Abington, that one of their former sons has passed away today. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Kevin.
that.
Where was I?
A motion to
Thank
adjourn.
you. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Motion to adjourn. Katie, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second from Clay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.